Okay, thank you very much everybody for coming here and light Hanukkah candle with us. I want to say a couple of words about Hanukkah and Gvot Olam, and I want to share with you my thoughts on this, that Hanukkah and Gvot Olam are really is one and the same thing. They have eternal connection. Maybe you will tell later. Yeah. Should you translate?
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm not a speaker, so I'm not polished speaker. I'm not professional at that, but I want to share with you my ideas. Hanukkah is a holiday surrounded by the parshiyot, the parshas of the week of Yosef. So we were reading for the last couple of weeks, and we'll read for the next couple of weeks, story of Yosef and his brothers. And this is the longest story in the whole of Chumash. And in the middle of the story, always there is Hanukkah. And Hanukkah really is nothing much, but really a story of Yosef. Hanukkah symbolizes coming up from the very lowest to the highest. Yosef being sold as a slave, being in prison, and suddenly, by divine intervention, by miracle, as we say, he became the king of the country where just a few days before that he was a prisoner. And the same thing with Hanukkah, which is really grows up from the story of Yosef. It's nothing different than the story of Yosef. The Maccabean, the country, Israel at the time, was occupied by the Greeks, and the nation was basically destroyed physically and spiritually. The foreign culture of the Greeks was dominant here, and a small group of Kohanim, of Jews, revolt against the destruction. The chances for any kind of gain in this revolt didn't exist. They were zero, nothing, close to zero, whatever it was, and this was the Hanukkah. And as we know, of course, not only they restored the whole country back to the Jews, the Beit HaMikdash was again restored to the Jews. The spiritual values of Israel was restored back, from no chance of success to a complete victory. So you can see from this that Hanukkah is basically a story of Yosef. It is sitting in the middle of the story of Yosef. It grows from the story of Yosef. It's just a revelation of the story of Yosef in different time, say 1,000 years later. But it's exactly the same story. And Gvot Olam is not, it's basically spiritually, it's also not any different from the story of Yosef or Hanukkah. Gvot Olam mentioned in the Torah twice. Once in the story of Yosef, which we will read in a week or so later, and second time in the story in the bracha of Yaakov Avinu to his son Yosef, first time. A second time, Bezot bracha, also a bracha to the tribe of Yosef, to the children of Yosef, from Moshe Rabbeinu. and again connected with Yosef. And the story of Givot Olam is, we said we will find oil here 25 years ago. I went to the Rebbe, I wrote a letter to him, and I said, we want to find oil in Israel, and we see it in the land of Yosef. There is a bracha to the land of Yosef, and it has to be oil there. Anybody else in the world would say, listen fella, go home, just have a cold shower, have a drink and relax. But not the Rebbe. Why? Because the Rebbe saw an eternal connection between Givot Olam and the story of Yosef and the Hanukkah. Go from not a chance of success to a complete victory. This was the power of the Rebbe, like the power of Yaakov Avinu and Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Rebbe said, not only go ahead and do it, he said, I give you my blessing, I give you my bracha, you will have good news soon. Unbelievable. Wait a second. So, and a couple of weeks ago, I was coming out of the office, just for the contrast. I was coming out of the office, and a person was standing outside of our office, standing next to the door of our offices, and laughing to himself with a loud voice. A Jew with a kippah was standing and laughing. I see a person laughing, so I said, what's funny? He said, it's so funny. I said, what is funny? He said, you are looking for oil in Israel? And start laughing, continued laughing. I said, yes. And he just laughed. He really had a good time. He thought it was so funny. I said, not only we're looking for oil in Israel, we're producing oil in Israel. And he was speechless after that. His just mouth opened. That's the difference between an ordinary person and the Rebbe. Rebbe immediately saw the connection. If there is a holy purpose in this, you see Kedusha on this, and you do it for the right reason, then it has to be successful. And Rebbe gave us bracha, and Baruch Hashem, it took us some time, but we had to work for this. Jews, we dream for our success, like Yosef did, but we have to work for this. It doesn't come for free. It's hard work, otherwise it just will not come. And Baruch Hashem, with your help and with our efforts, we're finally producing. And I can tell you that Chabad and the Rebbe is nothing different than Hanukkah and Yosef. It comes from the same shorish. Rebbe saw when he started his leadership, Jews were so low in the world, spiritually and physically. And he said, this cannot be. And he brought it up all the way. And that's Rebbe, and that's Chabad. And Chabad Shluchim, like this kind of Chanukia all around the world, bringing the Jews back to where we're supposed to be. And by the way, the words of Parsha, of these 5 words, I don't want to go into this, but it really spells Chabad. Chabad is built in it. And I have no doubt that Rebbe saw it all, and he gave us bracha to all of Givot Olam, and we are successful, and we will be a lot more successful, B'ezrat Hashem, when we develop the whole field. This is just a small beginning, a very humble beginning, but Givot Olam has to grow big and wide in Israel. And the best part of all of it, that not only we bring the bracha of the Rebbe and Yaakov Avinu and Moshe Rabbeinu to light, because it's bracha to the tribe of Yosef. We are standing on the land of the tribe of Yosef. Here, 3,500 years after this bracha was given first by Yaakov, transferred to his son Yosef. This is the land of Yosef. This is our land. And it's unbelievable to see the continuity of 3,500 years of our history, and we're very privileged to be here and connect it all to our days. Hanukkah Sameach. Thank you.
עכשיו שיר השרה.